You know what they call it, ready or not? It's because there's always the last one playing hide and seek with you and they get you. All right, hello everyone. Today we are going to be reviewing another viewer review me video. If you want to participate, I've said at the start of every one of these, just you want to click on the 1,000 subscriber reached or the 1,000 sub viewer challenge. Just look at the description. It'll have all the details if you want to kind of participate. But these are the videos that you'll be leaving the comment on to if you want to leave a review for me to, or have a video left for me to review. So just post it here. The description will be there and kind of explaining the details on these videos, and should be in this video here. But with that said, this is going to be a long video because, well, this man did a 4-man clear on the 3-letter triad on hard mode, and it's an hour. It's going to be an hour long. This is going to be a long one. He said, and I quote, hold on, he just posted 2 videos. I did review the first one, of course, and as you can see here, he says, please be as disrespectful as possible. So I'm still going to be nice. I'm not going to be super mean, but I'll try to be hyper nitpicky. It'll be a long video if I do that. Maybe I might cut down a little bit, but let's see how it goes. So this is as far as I've watched into the video. It's not really much into the video, but with that said, let's get into it. I am excited for this. I think they are speaking Russian, so I will not be understanding anything they're saying. I will be using body language and other such tools like context clues to figure out what they're talking about and saying. I mean, if anybody is Russian or something, or whatever the language is here, I'd love for you guys to translate this if there's any funny parts. All right, so 3-letter triad. If you guys don't know, it's the map that has the most enemies possible in the entire game. So this guy is rocking a MCX. I never forget. I always forget the letter of the order. I always forget the order of the letters. This man has 3 flashbangs, full heavy armor. I assume it's ceramic based on how fast he's moving. Okay, now let's address this. Okay, so this is a stack of 3 people, I think it was, leading 3 guys on 3-letter triad. So I guess there's 4 technically people. Okay, so I am super excited to see this. This is going to be a long video, so buckle up. We can ignore that door. A lot of these doors are kind of forgettable for now. But he has his sights up, ready to fire, aiming at points of threat. This guy is a very good player from what I've seen from his previous video, if I remember correctly. Taking his time. There's a suspect right there, and he's just waiting. He's just waiting until he gets spotted because he doesn't need to fire. He doesn't need to take the shot. Super high level stuff. I love this. He's holding the angle. If that door opens, he's probably going to back up and do whatever. He's peeking this spot and angle. He probably knows this map pretty well. I have not done this map very often, so I actually don't have a lot of expertise on this map for like map knowledge, but I am still going to be judging his CQB stuff. Now, he's holding this lane of fire. I assume his team is doing stuff behind him. Awesome. I do wish I could see the camera, but obviously that's not going to be an issue. I'm going to try to speed past this. I don't want to make this video like 3 hours long, which I'm sure I could. All right. Now we're getting into it. I'm so excited about this. This is going to be so awesome. I love this. It's going to be so awesome, I swear. Okay. 7.62 rounds. Looks like he's got the ARN or whatever, and that is something. I don't know what gun that is. So he has this man take over, watching this window. Now he can kind of command because obviously he's obviously the one leading these guys here. So he's taking, hey, take this spot, hold this position. You turn around and there's people stacked on a split stack. Lovely. This is a perfect split stack for this geometry. I do know the geometry. This is awesome. He's working the door. They're being patient. They're communicating. Obviously, this is going to be pretty normal if you have people who aren't inexperienced or whatever. There's going to be a lot of slow stuff. They're holding the door. The door is open. They're both covering the lanes as best as possible. You have somebody here, one on each side, covering each side of the angle. Split stack, split coverage. Oh, so good. This is if you're going to watch any video, this is probably going to be the one you're going to watch. I don't know what's past this 2 minutes. I don't know how hectic it gets, but I'm sure it's great, honestly, because this guy is definitely up there in terms of he's definitely above average player for sure. Well, he does an MCX. Okay, so they're just obviously talking about communication. This is a tricky kind of geometry if you want to get hyper specific about good cooperation and stuff. So I'm just going to kind of see and wait what's happening. I'm going to speed up a little bit. But they're good. They're going to be obviously getting in here, getting a foothold. Oh man, I love all these tactics. They're so good. He's creeping in. Okay, so during this whole process, I want you guys to think of one thing, okay? This door is closed. This door is open. I'm going to back up so you can kind of see a bit better. This door is closed. This door is open. This door is open. So this is a very active threat. This is a very active threat. This can become an active threat. But this guy's covering this side. Now, that means, I can't remember the exact geometry of it, but technically speaking, this door won't be as big of a threat because this guy's already looking to see if anybody will approach that door. So this door isn't as big as a threat as it appears to be. I'm pretty sure there's no other way to get to this door without this guy on the right here seeing them first. So he's pushing in. Now, great. Quick movement, staying on the walls, staying good. But even though this man is covering this door, this man is still covering this door. I love it. Now, I think there might be one angle where they can like sneak in here and still get to this door without this guy seeing them. But it's just still really awesome. I really don't know. And he's wedging it. Cool. Ignore that door now. Sweet. I'm curious if he's going to pull in the stack though. But okay, so you need somebody watching this the whole time because this man is very at threat. So the person who is recording, he needs to be watching this. Arguably, if I remember correctly, there's a door here. I'm pretty sure. As I said, I kind of not super familiar with the map because I haven't done it so many times, but I'm pretty sure there's a door here. Okay, yeah, he's even acknowledging this, right? But this is kind of a bad position. This guy is in a bad position. He's holding this door. That's fine. But he's focusing all of his focus on here to go into this door. You kind of want to spend a very little bit of time where this guy is, because why? There's a door here and there's a door here, and he's exposed to both of those, and he's exposed to this inside room. This guy's only exposed to like this room, and if a guy runs out, he can shoot him, of course, if he runs out, but engagement into this room, engagement into this room, this guy's going to go down immediately. If this door opens past this door, it's kind of a little bit past that, he's going to go down super easy. I would have to kind of show how the stacks are in door kickers, but he's trying, the leader's trying his best, and sometimes it's hard to nitpick and think about these things on high levels, but oh, that's not a door, the door's over there. Okay, that's a little bit less worse. I thought this was a door. I mean, it technically is a door, I think, but I'm so good at the game. I'm so good at this game. All right. And okay, he's just checking over here, seeing. Oh, okay, they're gonna split up. Yeah, so as you kind of see, like when he was holding that door, there was no threat there. He's wedging this, so there's no flanking, and he's gonna, yeah. So this was the door that I was referring to. He can obviously see this door from this angle, so that side was covered. He's just wedging this door so they don't come from behind, which is, yeah, okay. So they're going very, very precise, very, very tactical. This guy's watching this side. So okay, so I take back what I said before. I thought that was a door. The door is a little bit over further, so it's not as big as a deal. I thought that was the door for a second, but okay, I don't know how I feel about that. He crossed that threshold pretty quickly, which is good. If you're gonna cross the threshold, do it quickly. I forget how to do the. I'm trying to remember how I do the. How would I cross this? So you would. So okay, let me think about this. You would have. So you're crossing in front of the door. You're exposing yourself. Basically, let's just say like the whole room in this room. You want to pie. This guy needs to go check. Like he needs to pie this and scan. Then when you are crossing any threshold, you should still be pieing, because this is a side plate. Or like, generally speaking, you don't have side plates a lot of the time. So if you are going to walk past the threshold, you just be facing it. The person who's right here can, as this guy's pieing and crossing the door, or just really easily just close this door, walk past it and reopen it. That would be the best thing. That way you don't expose yourself to unnecessary angles. You don't have to do any complicated movement of your squad. Very simple, because he said he is leading these guys, so they're probably not super familiar with these tactics, generally speaking, or like don't have like it ingrained in them how to move around certain things. That was very risky and stuff. And yeah, maybe he's calling him. I'm sure he's calling him back. I don't know what he's saying, but he's probably calling him back. That is hilarious. Yeah, he's like, jeez. So we gotta watch out for this guy. He's the impatient one, obviously. No, no. Go. Okay, so that was unplanned. I see. So let's see. Obviously, they understand that. Hopefully, at least this guy doesn't, but he's learning. That's awesome. It's funny. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So like, step here, close the door. This guy's covering that way. That you cover that lane. Then you can kind of start working. You can wedge that door or start working on it. Just a quick note, this is me during the editing process. This is an amazing restraint from this person, and you can tell that they very well know what they're doing and what they're supposed to be doing. They did not react. They did not try to turn and look around. He stayed in his position. He held his lane of fire. I just wanted to add that. This is kind of scary. You probably don't want to... You probably don't want to work on this door yet. You probably just want to focus on that side. Okay. Okay. Going on over here. I'll be honest, I haven't gone this side. I actually don't know where this door leads exactly. I know it's probably into the kitchen, but I really don't know, honestly. So this is kind of it's kind of funny. What is the kitchen? Okay, so my understanding is they are going to cover this side, so that door is kind of not as big of a threat. It's hard to get a gist of things because I don't know what the other squad is doing, but he is clearing this room from a very awesome position. I'm not sure if I would have split stacked this room. I probably would have pied this room on the right side, like stack on the right and then kind of pied around. But and you obviously want to check this corner, even though it's probably clear, but you want to be diligent about this stuff. And yeah, okay. Flying in. This is a very scary room. That room is open, or these doors are open, and that room is ginormous, and that is a super scary room. That's where a lot of people die. I'm glad she is engaging it from really far away, though. That is really good, though. Yeah, so it's this technical kind of movement here where you're just kind of trying to engage them and stuff like that. Good stuff. Yeah, as I said, like you could have just closed that door and it would have been, this would have been much easier because you don't want to expose yourself to like the outside as well. And I assume they are going to secure this room like with wedges, I would imagine. He's engaging this properly. I would want somebody right beside him right here. So if they do push up, that they just like wedge that door. Focus this, because people can run in here really quickly. They are very aggressive in this room. Especially since we've established that there's enemies in this room. This is a super scary thing to pie. You always have disadvantage when you're pieing this room. Always. They will always see you first. You just have to be lucky enough to be like, okay, hey, you know, they're not looking at me at the time that I'm walking through the door, because you have severe disadvantage in that room. You basically never ever want to push that room. If you do, you're just basically rolling the dice. You can do it, generally speaking, but you're always going to have huge disadvantage. Now this, I actually really love. He's in this door, because he doesn't have to worry about the left side, assuming they wedge them. I'm not sure if he did or not. I don't want to go back too much, but I assume he kind of like clear the door and wedge them or something, but he's in this spot, so they have free movement to like basically move around this area, which is really awesome. And he can like push up safely, right? So because he has like a better position, so they don't have to like cross thresholds and stuff. But obviously they already cleared that room behind them, but it's also awesome just to have like that, clear that room, get a better perspective on this, and multiple guns and more space to operate in, which is awesome. So he's really walking them through it. So this is gonna be a long video. Yeah, so we have sightline here, and we have sightline here. So if a guy does come in here, he's still covered, because the people behind him will see this door, any threats through this door first. So as long as they're, you know, focusing and they are ready to shoot, this guy right here should be covered. I thought there was a door here to the left, but I don't remember. I honestly don't remember this exact where every door is, but I usually come in from the beach side most of the time, or the left side. Actually, this is I rarely ever come through the docks actually on this map, but okay. There's one person there. So one thing I would like to point out, which is just like this is hyper super specific, hyper nitpicky. There's a door here, and there's technically an entrance into this room that leads into this whatever you want to call this random room. If someone enters through that door and enters through here, you don't have a gun on this side. I'm not sure if there's someone beside him. I don't think it is, but he's kind of clearing this lane here by himself. But he is backing up off of that, which is fine. I don't think that area was secured. It's hard to see what's going on, right? But that's kind of wanted to have you guys having cameras and stuff so I can see what's going on. But I'm going to speed through this. It's just a lot of talking, and there's a lot of things going on, obviously. I don't understand the language they're speaking, so I can't really say. This man was so ready, he shot his own teammate. He's always ready. So yeah, there, he is holding that spot again for the angles and stuff. I assume they are going to start operating here. Yeah, that makes sense. So obviously you can kind of see, like, this is a really awesome tactic. So they're kind of like, they secured all the areas around them. They make like little incisions into each room, clearing the spots and making them safe. So you don't, because they're all kind of like, if you were to go through that middle door that they initially were stacked on right here, was it 1051? If you were to go in here, you have this side you have to worry about, this side you have to worry about, and then you have also the other, you know, further in areas that you have to worry about. They've cleared this side, they've cleared in here, and they've kind of like secured and kind of seen up to this kind of spot and kind of you know, kind of like I guess you want to call it recon, I guess. Reconned up to that point. Now they're going to kind of they're just kind of taking their time and kind of like biting each part of the map and taking each chunk as it goes. Baby steps, clearing, like, you know, sequentially, so there's nothing behind you whenever you are passing an area. So they're doing it very, very well, very, very methodically, taking their time, communicating extremely well. Minus that one guy who wanted to run out in front. Yeah, there's a door here. So I assume this guy's going to cover this lane of fire until they kind of cover the right side. Yeah, everything so far up here has been really, really well done. Yeah, I'm very impressed so far. Everything's all these positions are really great. There's a little bit of an issue here where he's kind of right here. I don't think they can see from that angle though, but making sure that you're not, whenever you are looking or moving somewhere, make sure not to turn your back to threats, so you can deal with them and protect your team. I'm going to kind of speed this up. I'm trying to make this go as fast as possible and trying to address the big things. I'm probably going to skip over a lot of like the crazy, tiny, minute details and ideas, but what just happened there? What was that? I'm in. Get taken out? Right here? Oh, that man dead. Holy shit. Okay, so that's rough. Having a shield man to peek around corners is pretty valuable. He's going to do the same thing. Let's see if he does it. He's doing a little lean peek. Yeah, so as I've kind of discussed, and I'm going to make a video probably about this. It's just I just need somebody to help me do it though, to illustrate this concept. But whenever you are peeking around a corner like this, the person really, really far away who isn't near a corner is going to have advantage and see you first, generally speaking. Which I will be discussing that, as I said. It's a weird concept to wrap your head around unless you're kind of seeing unless you're kind of seeing it. So that's unfortunate. He is down. Surprised they didn't reset. But that's the way. This is a tricky area because it's a room into a hallway, which they kind of have secured a little bit. But that big open room, it's always this big open room that's always a nightmare. You want like I know they don't have shields. They're obviously trying to be very tactical kind of stuff without shields, but a shield would be super strong on this. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to deal with this. This is a very scary threat. Because he got taken out quick. Yeah, okay. I think he's pulling off. Okay, cool. I think that's the right decision. Pulling off, and like if you already lost somebody. But pulling off into a dangerous off of a dangerous location, I can't even talk. Pulling off a dangerous location is super okay. You don't need to do difficult spaces. Just go around, do something else. You can always tackle it from a different angle. He still has to deal with that. He still has to deal with the flow where it is. See, there is a room here. I knew there's. I think somebody already wedged it. Nice. Not sure when that happened, but that's kind of what I want to see. I kind of want to see helmet cams in the future. Whenever you guys do submit, make sure you put helmet cams, just because I kind of want to see what's going on, because it's hard to keep what's going on chronologically, right? Like I don't know when that was placed in there. But yeah, so they're going very slow. He's trying to show his. Oh, this is a scary room. Uh oh, his feet are in the way. Tie him up. Good stuff. Now wedge. Nice. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm super impressed by a lot of this gameplay. It's very impressive. He definitely knows what he's talking about. He definitely knows what he's doing. This is definitely one of those very experienced players, and I said above average for sure. Pied wide. Yeah, that guy probably went in a little bit too quickly, but I think it was okay. This lane of fire isn't too difficult to secure. Yeah, it looked like. See, that was awesome. So this guy's moving in. As this guy's moving in and holding, he's good because I think there's nobody to the right of this angle. It's hard to show, but this should be good. Yeah, I think this is. I'd probably back up a little bit. Yeah, as he did. Nice. And he has that person coming right behind him. So that's awesome. Cross coverage into that room. You would have this man step up here as you go through the door and keep watching this lane. I don't remember what's here. Oh, no mind. Okay. You gotta. Yeah, he's still probably. This guy should be watching these two doors. You're gonna check the side and then go around like that. Yep. Awesome. That's not a door apparently. Okay. Mag check. Make sure your teammate is watching the threats while you're mag checking. Closing that door, opening it for better visual angles to pie around. And now you're just scanning into this room. Ooh, that's scary as hell. He returns fire. He backs out. He checks his mag. Reloading. He's covering that door. Nice. There's a hole for a flashbang if you want to throw a flashbang in there. Finger maybe. They don't have a lot of gadgets by the looks of it. At least he doesn't. Checking that mag. Checking that mag. You want to be a full mag in this room? 100%. I totally agree. They're doing full auto. You're trying to eliminate those targets the best you can. I think he saw a target. I think that was a target. Kind of hard to tell. He's going to the room. This man loves to stick his nuts out. Looks awesome though. He looks awesome. Okay, they're doing this room. I assume they're stacking up and collapsing. He's going to. Was that a mirror gun? No, that was a flash launcher. You wedging? Or is that C2? What's going on? Huh. Yeah, there's a hole here. I can throw stuff through here. I don't think there's any, what you call it, but like, I throw it throwing stingers if you do want to try to engage this room. All these rooms are awful. There's no way to like go into these rooms with like 100% like secureness. And I got to usually a very commonality with like most rooms or whatever. Is that there's rooms that are better than others, but I wonder if he's going to go through that. I would actually take these double doors, go into that the danger room in there. Going from here isn't too bad. If I remember correctly, there's two sets of double doors through this spot. I've only played this map like I think like less than 10 times or something. There shouldn't be anybody to the left because I know the geometry, but oh, I love that. He's peeking. He's opening the door for his friend to have a sight line. He can hide behind really great cover. That was awesome. That was so beautiful. I want to just everyone note this for a second, okay? Someone opens the door for him. Just the peeking on the left side of the door. This man has a line of fire. He has great cover. Great cover. He can retreat perfectly safe. This man is not in threat. It's beautiful. And it's a double stack on that left side, which is perfect. It's so good. That was amazing. Opens the door. He can kind of check and clear the left side, of course. I'm going 2 times speed. He's going to clear that just so those gears are broken off and then the doors aren't in the way. He's seeing more into the room, and then you can kind of like take that room. I didn't know there were wooden doors. I thought they were metal. And there should be 2 double sets of double doors here. Yeah, okay. So this one isn't too bad. I don't mind clearing from this room. This is a manageable space. They do have 1 less person, so they are only clearing with a total of 3. The other guy died, obviously, but applying that and going to here, watching that lane of fire. Awesome. He's stepping over, checking that lane of fire. Cool, sweet. Awesome. Love it. Yeah, that's awesome. So watch turning your back. He's checking in here to make sure there's nothing going on. Gonna check around. Okay, so he's gonna do this. Go through here, pie through here, get a better position into this room. Cross coverage into this room. Awesome, love it. He's in there. He's in here, checking that side. He gets 2 people on the left side that he's coming through because he knows this is going to be a bigger threat. He can hold this room that's already relatively secure. Potentially, obviously, there's unknowns and there can be people hiding and stuff. But that was just so beautiful. So good. I feel like I don't even need, a lot. Like I can't think of any major big things that are like issues. Everything he's doing is like awesome. I love this. Super great movement. Great tactics. Looking away is not. I would say for someone at his level, this person's level, I would not look away as he did. I know he's doing it to kind of like look after his people. I would not look away like this. I would not look away like this. This is really bad. You can go close the door, then look at your team, right? And he's going to do the same. I assume he's going to do the same tactic. Is he going to do the peek? Yeah, he's saying, yep, hide behind that cover. I'm going to open that crack. I'm going to peek it. Or he's going to open the whole door. And he's going to pie. Yeah, I assume he's just teaching him kind of like an idea, kind of a lesson here of how to do this. Man, I waited a long time to watch this just because it was an hour long. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be talking for like 3 hours straight. And I did just do a video. I did just record a video, another review me right now. So I've already been talking for about like 30 minutes right now. And I think we're, what are we on the recording? We're at 27 minutes. I'm holding down this 2-time spacebar to try to get through all this. Just to speed up the process. Because I don't want to make this video. Barely want to make this video an hour long video, but I would pull back a little bit. You don't need to be that further back, but that's a nitpick as well. These are nitpicks basically just for the higher tier players that are going to be like, oh yeah, like I could back up because I have a reaction time and my weapon length isn't going to be an issue. I assume he's getting shot from the outside top, somewhere over there. Yeah. And he's just trying to peeking, and oh, there's a guy there. Oh, he got him. Nice, good stuff. Yeah, I love that. Stay away from that ledge the best you can. He's trying to engage anything he can. He has people watching the door. I'm not sure if there's anybody watching the base below. There is a path, I believe, underneath this, so they could sneak up on him. Hopefully someone's watching the door. I would have... This guy's positioned awesome, in an awesome position. This is kind of in the way, but I would have somebody watching his back, essentially. Close that door, watch his back on the staircase, because you're going to be the first one seen when someone comes up the staircase, probably, if he were to come to the corner. So I would just say, yeah, just having somebody on his back. I know they're trying to really put a lot of focus fire onto this door, though, because they're going to... Oh, he is clearing it. Okay, awesome. I couldn't tell. And he's getting shot. And here's another lesson. Someone's getting shot. If you know your lanes of fire and you're covering your lane of fire, your responsibility, do not look away from your responsibility whenever someone else is getting shot. Assuming that you know everything and you know every lane of possible threat like this. So we have the staircase. We have the side thing here. He's covered. He shouldn't be able to be seen. And there's the double door. If these double doors open and this guy looks, that's okay and it makes sense, right? Because he's at threat and the person who's watching is at threat. And technically this guy is in the best position. But it's important to watch and do your roles, because if you look away when someone else is getting shot like that and someone runs up, you've lost your ability to hold your position. Now, obviously, there's something to be said for, obviously, someone opens this double door that is behind this guy, where this guy's standing, that double door is behind him open. Obviously, these guys are all going to be at threat, but you don't want to risk this thing. You have to maintain your responsibility. Now, this thing can vary, of course, and be flexible depending on the situation. This was probably an okay peeking or checking of seeing what's going on, but that's why you have helmet cams on. You're looking at your helmet cam. You don't need to look away. He could be further down the stairs even, So he's completely safe, and he can look at the helmet cam and watch the door. Without, if this door opens, this double door behind him, he won't be in threat because he is getting his side of his body without any plates. So, and the door's locked. Always check the doors locked if the doors are locked before you even operate them most of the time. But it's a minor thing. This is a scary room. Don't be fooled by this room. This is a very, very scary room. Really bad angles for anyone going into this room. They pretty much always have an advantage. The NPCs. These are rough rooms. Very active stuff here. A lot of time people run out of this room. A lot of people can enter through this space here. There's a door here where my mouse is. And okay, we're stacking. We're ignoring that stuff. We're going to work on this door. We need extra men because this is a you need a lot of firepower in this map. You're doing this map solo. You're going to be you're always going to be sacrificing so much defense and stuff. And this is crazy. This is on ×2 speed. So that means they're taking their time. They're taking a lot of time. They're going as fast as they need to go. And that's completely acceptable. You want to take your time. Also, he is leading them and kind of teaching them. So they probably don't know the principles as well. So everything's going to be like a lot slower. And to be fair, if you are teaching somebody something, it is harder to explain concepts on the go. So he's probably kind of doing basic kind of movements, right? So he's definitely, he probably has taught them before and they're kind of still learning. But yeah, so like that's awesome, right? Yeah, I think this is good. Good positioning. Obviously he knows the geometry of the map. Good angles, good angles. Yeah, this is really great. How many mags did he have? I think he had like 6 mags. He has heavy armor, so 9. He has 9 tools. I wonder what his other remainder is. Okay, so there's 4 guys left. 4 baddies left. This is really good, though. I'm very impressed. This is awesome. And this is like, you should, everyone should be watching this. Every kind of little detail, every little movement, very important that he's doing. Like you can emulate and copy a lot of this movement, a lot of these tactics. You're gonna do great. Definitely gonna be great. I'm gonna see when he opened that camera up, see where he was. Okay, so he's watching into the room. I'm not sure if there's I don't think there's a room to the left here that he has to worry about. I'd be curious to see. I mean, there's no other place for him to kind of cover, but get this up. Yeah, a lot of communication, a lot of talking. I love that though. Honestly, like communicating and talking, especially if they don't know what they're doing or whatever, like they just need to discuss the plan. This is awesome because in the future they're gonna, oh, there is a door there. Oh, this is that spot. Okay, never mind. I know where this spot. Yeah, he's in a totally good position. So he's going here. I don't think there's any back window behind him. These doors are scary. I've gone up the stairs and cleared this area. So this is definitely something. I assume he's covering. So let me just take a little gander here. So I would have somebody stacked right beside him, watching this position. And I would have him pie, just kind of peek this angle. If there is nothing there, you tell that person to get and hide into this corner and cover that spot. And then you'd have that person who is over there. I can't remember what he was covering. He's covering that lane, that big room. But yeah, having them cover that spot be good and valuable. I assume he's just clearing into that side or like holding that. I'm not muted. Back a little bit. It's hard to address these angles and should tell you what I'm talking about, but I think this is fine actually. He can kind of just be on this wall where the door is open and then just covering this door and kind of seeing as much as he can into this spot. Because it's hard to cover this spot and this spot if there's a lot of enemy activity or whatever. So I think the angles are covered and good here, I think so. But having a little bit more reassurance of when he does go in here to be covering as he walks in. This is super hyper ridiculous though, right? but there's always like, you could always do this, like, you could always do this slightly better, of course. I think this is all clear on the side. You don't have to worry about the left side, so he knows this. I think there's a tiny room here, but I don't remember. Like a tiny like spot for one person, but I'm not sure if there's anybody been in there ever, but I wonder if this crack in the wall is actually a hole. I'm actually not sure. Let me step a little bit. Because there's a lot of like sitting and waiting around, so I just want to like speed that up. And even though the tactics are great and they're taking their time, they're talking, I don't know what they're saying, so I'm just speeding through most of it. Oh, that's a scary hole. Yeah, this is really bad. So the reason why this is like the first notable issue. He's gonna check out the crack in the wall to fire into this room. This door is open. Somebody can walk through there and take him out. Hopefully there's somebody behind him covering him. Preferably you'd have somebody really close to you to the left. Kind of, where is it? Let's see if I can get a good angle. As you enter here, I would have somebody right here looking at that door so they have a better angle to see them sooner. And then you can pie and check that. But yeah. Preferably you'd have them past this crack in front of the door, taking out any targets. Hopefully without exposing their back, you know, being here. Because if someone's here covering this door, they're going to be focused on first, and this person's not going to be focused on. So the person who we're looking at right now. So, but it's yet to have to cross the threshold, and that's also an issue. But that's where shields can come in really handy, and you can get past those tactics. Like you can plug the hole with a shield. Two people can walk, enter, like, you know, cover. One person can cover this door. Then you can kind of engage this spot if you want to, and you can engage this spot as well with, like, you know, two people have. Hey, there's a flashlight being covered. Love it. I did not notice that. Awesome. So yeah, no, that was I would say that's good. So I take that back. There was no big mistake there. I'm not sure. Yeah, there he is. He's using his light. I think maybe you can see a bit better. Lighting in there is not great. Doing pretty well. From that lane. Good stuff. Good stuff. Moving. Chicken. Beacon. Is that Yep, that's a mag drop. Might have an empty mag, actually. And, yeah. Good. Flying around the corner. Taking the shots. Taking the feet. And taking the fires. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. That guy's low on mags. That's going to be rough. That's the only problem with full auto. You're always going to be running into that issue of not being able to have your magazines done. Oh, that sucks. Negative 100. So this is probably going to be a C rank now. Probably a D rank. Might even be a D rank now, actually. I think about it. Because I think all objectives with lethal is going to be, generally speaking, like D rank. Or B rank, I mean, sorry. Yeah. So, like, minor looking around like this is, like, things you shouldn't do. At higher level, you should always be on this position. I know he's communicating with them and looking around to see what's going on, but because he's kind of like the commander or the leader, telling people what to do and how to do it. But you need to have that spot on that lane so you don't have to, like, snap to and take the shot. You're already there, ready to fire on that target. Pieing wide. Could have pied a lot wider, in my opinion. Like, he's pieing pretty close to the door. Pieing a little wider isn't going to make a huge, insane difference, but it will help. And honestly, if you are going to pie that slowly in front of a dangerous door, just do it faster. Just kind of like cycle through quickly, see what's going on. Like where the person's at right now, this guy, the recorder, that's where you should be pieing from. And that's where he's positioned, right? Which is awesome. And he's looking down the staircase, because there's a staircase that leads down. This was the room that they were in initially. And he's... Oh, okay. Let me just watch the movement here. I'm going to go back and get their speed. So he steps in. How do I feel about this? Let me think about this. Okay, he goes in. He's exposed to the right. He doesn't know what's on the right because he hasn't seen it yet. Assuming he knows the geometry of the map, that's fine. Whatever. This guy kind of sees and is seeing everything already. I would have this man. Honestly, this person would probably. Let me think here. This is an after edit. I was actually watching this and I kind of didn't really like what I said because I was like, I'm not really explaining it very well. So I thought I would kind of show it in door kickers. Function, I'm just going to kind of show what was happening with the geometry. I put hypothetical bad guys here, and by hypothetical I mean actual bad guys in this scenario. And let me be very clear, this is totally fine how they did it. Generally speaking, it's not a big deal. This is just a super hyper nitpick, but kind of just I'm going to show you what would kind of happen if you do it this way, where issues can arise. So initially, whenever you are going through, this man's the first one through, you'll notice that if they're trying to find this position very quickly, they're going to get on target and it's going to be fine. But this person doesn't know the geometry of this room. They don't know the geometry of this room. So that's generally speaking still fine. But the issue comes when you're blocking the door and your plate is not protecting you because you're basically giving them your side essentially. Right. So also there's a thing to be said about clearance of weapon. Whenever you're trying to like go around a corner like this, sometimes getting your weapon up can be a little bit more tricky. So we'll just kind of play it out for a second. And that's kind of what happened. Okay, so generally speaking, this is kind of how I'd want it to be done. What you would basically be doing is you would have cross coverage from the door. Now these right here would be lined up. So basically we would be like this and like, oops, no, you're not staying, you're staying there. So this is kind of the setup that I would want and expect. So you have this one covering this angle, and you're just going to move over just a little bit. So you have the greatest angle to cover that if anything comes through. Obviously, you need a little bit more space to see, you know, someone comes in the main lane of fire. And then same thing over here. We're just trying to, if any suspects into this room pass the threshold, you're going to see them, right? Is the idea. Now, this is a weird one, and the geometry should allow for it based on what I've been seeing in the video. But essentially, you kind of want good cross coverage like this. But as this one is moving in to look down this position, which he should be the one, because he already has a little bit more of information than this person does, right? Ignoring anybody knowing map hacks or something like, oh, if you don't know this threshold, this is how it's going to be done, right? You're going to squeeze up really tight with this cross coverage. Let that person pass, right? Because you're really not exposing them to too much more new threat in this area. So you're going to let him go in here. He can get his weapon a little bit up faster. We're not stepping out here because we don't want to cross their line of fire. And whenever we are here, we are also exposing ourselves to a little bit more information, which might be a bad guy, right? So there could be a guy here, and it's only seen when they are moving here. So, and you don't want to be having your plates exposed to this kind of area. Now, we're obviously doing the best we can with this situation. You know, the geometry only allows for so much, right? So we're going to come in here. We're going to try to get this target on site as quickly as possible. Then from here, we are going to move up and ready our positions to start moving around. Now, this character does not want to move, right? So as soon as this one touches this area, we're going to change roles. So we still have all of the coverage still in play. So we're covering this angle, we're covering this angle, and we're covering this angle right now. So being careful not to cross in front of each other's lines of fire. And as you can see, there's shots going off and we're good. And this guy can be crouching, right? But still covering that lane of fire. What happen is essentially what I'm going to call a role swap. So this guy's looking at this direction. When I get close enough for this guy is going to take this role, and this guy's going to take this guy's role. Why? Because he has a better position because where he is, right? He'll be able to see a little bit better into the room and cover a bit better. So he's going to bump this target right here, this part of the team member. And as soon as they bump, they're going to change roles. So you're going to swap over here and you're going to swap over here into this lane. So pop. So I'm covering here, obviously moving. It's a little bit harder to get the fine details, but covering that space, right? This person can be ducking. And obviously during this period of time, what you can do is scoot up. So this one should be fine to scoot up. You will be exposing yourself to a bit more room here, which is fine. And then here, we don't want to actually go out here because we don't have coverage from a target right here, right? And obviously this is a very tight kind of thing. And this is happening in like a couple, like it's like a few milliseconds, a half a second, right? This is where it's happening, or the time duration that it's happening in. So this one can move up. He's fine, but it's going to be exposing here. So what do? We move with them, right? Blah, blah, blah. Now, what is this guy doing? Now, he's moving in. Now, you can make it super complicated and be like, okay, now this person's roll swapping because they're already in the door. And once this guy gets around the corner, it's basically the same thing. So we'd be like, oh, like this guy's going to roll swap. It's going to do this. You don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be super complicated, right? But what we are going to do is this person get right here, right behind them. Because generally speaking, just think of like you're connected at the sides. So if you're not connected at the sides to another partner who is facing that direction, so like because, you know, this one's facing north, this one's facing east or whatever. So we're going to try to make them so they are kind of like this, right? Up and then one's to the right. Now this person has some room to operate and kind of, you know, do whatever they want. Now, if you go here and you step in here, you are going to be exposing yourself to a line of fire with not having your plates up. But when you do step here, also exposing yourself to a lane of fire here, which obviously you want to be facing both ways, technically speaking, but you can only do so much. So what you can do, and there's a lot of ways you can do this, and depending on how you want to do it and really think about it, it's a super complicated, really kind of minute kind of thing, but I'm just kind of showing you guys what I'm talking about. Because as I said, you can do this so many different ways. Usually the best way is with gadgets, which is the most important thing. Mirror gun, you know, flash grenades, stingers, etc. Shields. We're going to basically just be moving this person right here down to the lane of fire to where they can essentially have a crossfire and kind of clear that. There, to the best of their ability, is also going to cover this area because I think there's like pretending this is the door and like this is like the overlook of where the area is for the map. So there's a door here and then there's a door here if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to move them up just a little bit, slowly flying, slowly moving up and slowly going in here. So this one can get a better coverage area of defending both doors kind of evenly. And as they kind of step in pie here, you can also do another roll swap. So like as you can kind of see, as this guy moves in, he's covered. This one is generally covered, but he's not super safe because, as I said, if someone comes to the door, they're going to be an issue. But we're dealing with the bigger threat because this is a huge dynamic threat. And if you hear a door open, you can obviously aim and address that. So what you can do from here, you kind of have this threat here. You can actually just take cover out of this line of sight right here. As you can see, he can't be shot from anywhere over here. Then you're just going to swap rolls and you're basically just going to do a little roll swap here. And then from here, we're good. Oops, I gotta move this one to move. This one's moving, this one's moving. And now you have cross coverage into a scary room. They have a cover point. This one does not have a cover point, which kind of sucks. You can also just return him and back him up here, which is also totally acceptable, honestly, because you do want someone with cover and you still have that coverage into the room. They're going to be a bit further away, so shots might be a little bit harder, but you're going to have a safety point, which is also nice. So like just like small minor things like, oh yeah, like I can move back now because I moved to the space. I'm good. There's no threats over here or here. We're good. We just have to focus this lane of fire. I'm going to do it from cover. And from here, when you are covering someone's back, you need to be on their back. Give them enough room to operate in and out of the battlefield, but you are watching their back because if someone comes through the doors, you want them protected. You want them to be able to shoot you first, who has their plate facing the target. And then, obviously, because you're protecting them, and your plate's taking the brunt of the force and not sides where you don't have plates, most of the time, generally speaking, ready or not. So that's kind of how you'd want to be able to do this. Like move into this position. You have points of cover. You can cover from angles. If this one needs to pie wider, this one would pie with them, covering their back and their weak spot without any plates. So these guys are just going to be kind of glued together. So that's kind of how I would do it. The reason why you didn't want to do it the way it was done before, and there's nothing wrong with this per se, it's just that you have someone being blocked by cover, right? This is kind of the positioning that was happening. This one gets blocked. Let's say, for example, there's 2, 3 guys here, 4 guys, but something ridiculous that usually wouldn't happen in Ready or Not, but it has happened. This one's going down. Let's say he's running over here. He's exposing himself to fire over here, right? This is gonna suck, right? And let's say this guy dies when he comes around the corner, and this guy's already committing to entering the room. That's gonna suck. You're losing 2 people instead of just 1, for example, with that other example. So this is an after edit. I was actually watching this and I kind of didn't really like what I said because I was like, I'm not really explaining it very well. So I thought I would kind of show it in door kickers. This is interesting. Now we're gonna get back to the video. Sorry for talking so long. But this is fine. I'm being really nitpicky or whatever. He's extending past a little bit too far. Make sure that guy pushes up. He'd probably want to push up on this corner and watch down at that angle. They probably want to secure a foothold here as quickly as possible. The reason why, so this guy, so the first guy goes in. If there's a threat here, this guy's here to shoot. This guy who's Penguin is also here to shoot, right? These two, they're both here to shoot and cover. He just needs to move over a little bit, and then he can fire down the lane. If there's somebody here and here simultaneously, this guy's going to die 100%. They can take this, but it's going to be tricky. Now, honestly, they probably have more mags than I was thinking about, but as they just go back. So as they push in, this guy pushed in a little bit too far. This guy needs to go up. So he's defending his side plates. So if there is a threat in his direction, because as long as you guys are all lined up and covering each other and blocking each other's weaknesses, like or weak spots, I should say, then you're good. But if this guy pushes up too far and is seen, he is ducking, so it's probably less likely for him to get shot or whatever is seen. But generally speaking, that geometry is important to like note. Because like he has his side plates right now, he should be right on his side, looking down the staircase. Because he's too far back. If someone, let me go back real quick. I can pause it. If someone opens this door, this guy's dead. He's already dead because this guy can't see that door open in that angle. He'll be shooting at him before he enters the space. So this guy back here needs to be where this, like in front of him, essentially right here. He needs to be right there. He needs to be, I'm going to try to see if I can get the gun pointed. He needs to be sitting right where he is, where this gun is, lined up here. Looking in that spot, he can be slightly up on the stairs. I assume he's watching this spot and this spot, but this spot needs to be watched too, because this is uncleared. And especially since they move around a lot. So this is where an issue is. There's an issue here of coverage. There's a coverage issue. You need to have a man on the right side. Like watching that back door. A lot of the spots are covered though, to be clear. So I assume they're just trying to clear this room best they can, because once they clear that room, it'll be better. Yeah, so awesome. He's addressing this threat. Now he should be a little bit over here. He should be on the wall. You can just cover on the wall. He can cover on this wall. Watch corner lanes. Have that guy be covering the side. You can even push it back further, like have be on the stairs down halfway. Guy at the top of the stairs, looking around that corner, covering that. I'm not sure what the plan is or where they're going, so I don't know how they're going to set up before they go somewhere. Maybe they're going down here. I don't know. My guess is that they were going to clear the left room, but I don't know. They haven't cleared here. They haven't cleared here. This leads into that one spot they were above before, if you guys remember. That balcony was, and then there's like the danger room with the downstairs, but this leads into another section of where most people walk through when they spawn in different locations. Oh, okay, he's already running off and ran around here, so this looks like it's clear, generally speaking. They are gathering wedges to utilize them. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So if I remember correctly, I think they had like 3 suspects left or 4 suspects left, if memory serves. Let's see what time's left. There is a good amount of time left. This is going to be an interesting one. Place your bets now. Place your bets. Is anyone here going to go down before the end of this map? They get trickier and trickier when they when there's less of them, because you have to re-clear every single room. Okay, this is the scary room. I've never cleared this room from this space before. I actually like this. This is actually, because they cleared that room. They cleared that room behind them to the right, which is where they kind of just came from. This is a good room to clear from if those doors aren't open. I guess that would be the issue, is that these doors would be open if you were able to clear through this spot without clearing those locations. But coming from that spot was actually nice, because you get the little height to see down into the spots. And then, yeah, I don't mind that spot. That's interesting. I gotta play these maps more. It's hard to because like what you play this map and then play with people and then you have 3 people join and 2 people they both leave because there's no people left and they're not good enough to this level because they want to run in there like it's Call of Duty. But you know what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Okay, they're checking them back where they were before. Wonder if they're going to go to a different location. Yeah, I was wondering if they're gonna go down here. Oh, let's just get retrieving all their wedges and stuff. I don't know where this room leads. This room would lead where? He's taking cover farther back. I like this. I like this a lot. Waiting for the smoke to clear. Good. I don't know what this room is. Room looks familiar. Yeah, weird. I don't know. Okay, let me just speed this up. A lot of deliberation. Picking anything. Whatever. Yeah. Folks are communicating, I assume. I don't know what they're talking about. But they're in cross coverage, so that's good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. They flood in. Good, foothold. Man, it's so tactical. Kneeling down on the knee. Holding the weapon up. Yeah. I don't know, I'm kind of just in shock at how good this is. I love this. This is so good. My brain just kind of turned off for like 5 seconds there. It's like, yeah, this is all good. And I just kind of was watching it as a viewer. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to, you know, judge these guys. These guys know what they're doing. Good pawing of the door. Awesome. All right, with the crack open. I'm curious. I'm kind of lost where this. I kind of am familiar with this spot, I think. But I'm not certain of this room. What is this room? Yeah, cross coverage. You should have somebody covering the center here. Oh, is that the downstairs? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd have somebody watching this though, because this is a line of fire open, exposed here. Okay, so now I know what that room is because they were just above there. They went around and down and blah blah blah. Right. Very cool. Learning a lot from this video, myself, at least for like the map geometry. Yeah, the cross coverage is great. You'd have this door. You probably wouldn't be pushing up this much for cross coverage, in my opinion. You would have somebody. You'd be here and you'd be here. And you'd be watching that lane, and then you would slowly creep up all simultaneously. One person would be looking in this lane of fire, and one would be cross coverage. Because as you push up here, you're exposing yourself to the spot behind the door, and you haven't cleared that yet. So you have to clear out this room, who's like the person clearing on this this lane of fire, like here, right? Because as he's clearing here, this is getting more exposure, and we don't know what's behind this door potentially, right? Because we always want to be super hyper diligent about this stuff. Because occasionally there can be a lot of variables and they can be, you know, behind the door or something funny, something funky. But yeah, crossing in front of here, they did clear the top. They did walk around a little bit. They kind of checked around. So it was relatively secure from what I could tell and what I was seeing. So he must have some good confidence to not think that there's any threat here. But he is pieing this, right? So okay, he's closing the door. Which is good and the right thing to do. But that exposure was really bad. I'm not sure what the other guy is doing, the third member. He's probably just covering the rear. You'd probably just close this door, manage this, cover that, then go back to that spot after you've wedged it behind you. Because I'm not sure what this guy was doing. I'm sure sure he'll explain it to me though. In the comments or something. In a very super long, huge, ginormous paragraph that I'll have to read and go, oh, okay. And I'll read it because I love reading comments. Yeah, blowing this up makes sense. You want to do it from a good spot of cover. You can't manage these doors safely. You're going to open it. You're going to expose yourself to a big room. So yeah, that makes all sense. They're pieing the door. Looks like they're clear on this side. I'm a little disoriented in terms of like where everything is and where everybody is for the map. I don't have a great sense of this map. I do understand. I know what this room is roughly. This is the one to the outside, of course, which is, I guess, they're above. I wonder if it's mirrored, I guess. I guess because this is probably where the stairs are, back up to that spot where the lane was. And yeah, that makes sense. Found myself again. Okay. Wow, this is a lot of deliberation and waiting. Covering. I would get into better cover here, but I think this is generally fine since they did cover this side, and I think they came from here. I'm kind of lost on the map. I'd have to look at the map layout. A little bit confused with the layout here, but great movement, great movement. Staying together, not closing too many spots of line of sight to dangerous areas. So one thing is interesting. So when they go in here, they're all very grouped up. Now this can be bad and good. It can be good because one person is not going to expose himself to a lane of fire that isn't being covered by another person. But it's also bad. Why? Because everyone's grouped up and everyone's going to get fired upon, and they're going to be bumping bodies, and they're going to be, you know, crowded, essentially. Have less movement, have less angles to cover, and they're going to have worse cross coverage, generally speaking, right? Because they're all grouped up. So there's like good and bad things related to grouping up when you enter a room. And it kind of just depends on the situation. There's about one suspect, so I think grouping up tighter is generally speaking okay, and just having more eyes together, you can focus on multiple locations without exposing yourself too much, like as a singular person. I have a feeling there's going to be one person who's going to go down. I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. I think it'd be really funny. I'm very curious. Did you guys bet? You guys bet? Is someone else gonna get downed? Watch somebody sprint out and shoot you in front of you. Happens so often. I don't know how many guys there's left. I actually can't remember, but they're obviously doing very well. And this is on hard mode, by the way. If you guys are watching and be like, wow, this looks so easy. This is obviously on standard. Like, no, this is on hard mode. As I said, these guys definitely know what they're doing. Or at least this guy does. And he's like, you know, he's sharing his skill with the rest of his group. I've been watching this on ×2 speed, which is kind of hilarious, but... yeah, I'm good with this positioning. We're watching the staircase. Any threat, he's pieing this. He's watching this lane of fire. Yeah. I would... So, this is just a minor thing, but it's a good thing to learn. Whenever you're passing a lane of danger, face that direction with a plate. At least. Ideally, you're going to be pieing it every time you pass that threshold. So, you're going to walk by it. You're going to be aiming your gun at it. So, if you do need to fire back, you can fire back. Then you're past that threshold, and you can refocus on whatever you need to do. There are circumstances that can override that reasoning, but generally speaking, that's a good core thing that you want to be doing. You pass a threshold, even if someone's covering it, they can't shoot because you're blocking them. So here, if you get shot, this guy is just going to get shot in his sides. He doesn't have his plates on his sides, really, generally speaking, most of the time. So he's in a very vulnerable position, even if it's for like a millisecond. So just great principles to kind of like just hammer in, always apply them to these locations. So, you know, that was a little good. I think that was okay. It's hard to decide to see the geometry specifically. He went a little wide, but he did have to pie, but he pies, this exposes him to that room. I would sit on this door, look at this location, like not sit on it, but you know what I'm saying? I'd walk through the door, stay positioned at the door, and, you know, look at this direction and that direction. And then I would go to the spot, pie over here. Then I would try to minimally pie around this spot to avoid any sight from this spot. But technically when he goes in here and he pies, this person should be able to see anybody that comes from this side if he's pieing here. So, but all good. It's all doing great. Like if you want to see like, this is such a good example. This is like an exceptional like video to show how you should be moving and like it's like there's not a lot of things being done wrong here, right? There's like super hyper nitpicky things where you can kind of improve on tiny touch things, but a lot of the time it's not going to be the reason for their death, which is what is important, right? Obviously it can be, but it's so low of a chance that it's not going to happen a lot of the time. But everything they're doing here is really great. They are moving through a lot of space here very quickly. And they don't have a lot of things to lock down in this room, so this is a little scary. This is probably about the scariest it's been, because they are walking through a space where any door can open over here or over here. And for a moment there, they weren't looking in that direction, for example, right? So you have to lock in. I know everyone's kind of like seeing locations and checking them, but he's walking close to this door. This is really scary, honestly. I'm not a fan of him walking over here. But he does look like he's going to go all the way around. I think that was the one. He was the one who walked around that door earlier, I think. But yeah, everything's going really great here, though. Holding the angles, cross coverage into the door. He's checking on them, of course, and he's trying to hold the lane. That's the issue, is that he's always trying to check on them when he's trying to hold a lane. And obviously that's excusable because he's trying to, teach them and stuff, which makes sense. He's just making sure they're falling in line and all that. Oh, he's going for a flash. Check that room. They're going to storm it. Great's probably going to go in first, I assume, if I had to guess. Checking, securing the rear. This is going to be the case whenever there's like one suspect left. It's going to be so annoying dealing with the one suspect. It's always so annoying. Yep, cross coverage. One guy in the center, looking at the center door. And this is something that I didn't really address. Okay. I was right, wasn't I, guys? I predicted this so hard. Oh, man. No. I was about to say, as I was just about to say, it's nice to let a room breathe. So this man steps in. Cool. I want to see what went on here. Let's just go frame by frame. This man's stepping in. He's covering that lane of fire. He's going in. He's going in. He's checking. This man's sitting on the doorway, vulnerable to. These two are very vulnerable to this door, by the way. Steps in. When does it get shot? Okay. Oh, this man has steel. You guys know how this is steel? Because those sparks are steel sparks. That's not ceramic, which is awesome for this map. So, because you want longevity in your armor for this map. He gets shot 3 times. Man. Oh no, that was his shot. Ah. He gets shot once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And he's starting to get shot. That's his first shot here. 1, 2 for the bleed. Or is that a bleed? No. 2 for the bleed. And 3. He got taken down 3 shots. Why is this man not firing? This man's not firing. What did he DC? Oh man. Yo, when it falls apart, it falls apart quick. What was this? This was like half a second. That was like half a second. This is hard mode, guys. This is hard mode. And this is the reality of CQB. This man dies in half a second. That's wild. I wonder if any shrapnel was like assisting in him getting shot or damaged. Because he does have his right arm damaged. He probably got shot in his arm, probably got 1 shot. So I wonder if like the extra damage he took was from shrapnel, from the steel. I would be hilarious if that was the case. Man, I took a long time to do this because I was like, this is going to be a slog. It's going to be a super long video. This is such a good payoff. Oh man. Yeah, you have flashes. You guys got to utilize them. I know they're very, if I remember correctly, when I was watching this guy when he did a solo video, he was very particular with how he used his gadgets. He's very what would you say? He's the type of person who I think he would go through the whole entire game not using any of his items, and then he'd beat the game. Because he's like, yeah, I don't need those. It's too good at the game. Which is a common thing I do, which is sad because items are fun to use in games. Man, they die so fast. I don't know why he wasn't shooting. Maybe he didn't see the angle. Maybe there's something like blocking his vision. I don't know what's going on here. I'm so curious. But two of them went down. I only predicted one. I was like, there had to be at least one more death. Because this spot is dangerous. Yeah, he didn't have the sight line. That's a bummer. This is a dangerous room. So like, this is an example of like a dangerous room, right? You step in, he's good. You step in, he's good. You kind of have to sacrifice this position. Like, obviously, this is hindsight, but this guy just stepped too far off without any cover. Because let's be real, this is probably the issue. Now, not to say that this is, you know, this is after the fact. We know what's going on. We know what's happening, right? But this is obviously, if you could change one thing, it's how this man's moving through the space. Because he's going really far out, which is fine, generally speaking. But obviously it's not, because he couldn't fire back, right? He's going to the space. If there's a suspect here, this guy's going to get lit up. This guy's going to get lit up. This is the only cover they have. They're going to get shot first before he can return fire, most likely. And if there is an angle which he cannot cover, this guy's definitely dying without any ability to defend his friend here. So this spot, I think going along the wall would be a little bit safer. Sticking along the wall. You don't need to project yourself too far into this room. You don't need to project yourself that way either into that room. There are canisters. They don't blow up, as far as I'm aware, that are great cover you can have. So getting this position, getting that position, seeing what's going on, hold that door. This spot is always going to be a pain. We're going to see once he dies or whatever, but kind of like what that angle looks like. Yeah, so like he's obviously over here in this corner. This guy's over here. I think he just stepped out too far. I think that was this guy just stepped out too far, so he couldn't help his friend. Because there's in a sense, there's no value in him crossing over here to try to like get an angle on this right now, because two of his friends dead immediately, right? So you probably want to stack tighter when you go through rooms like this, because he went down so fast. And it's weird because it was a delay. So he must have not seen him, or he must have been strafing. I would really love to see a helmet cam here. I would be so interested to see what happened. Like, did he not see him when he went around the corner? Like, does he not see him? He's just blending in really well, because that happens all the time. Honestly, it happens to me so frequently. You getting shot at? I think he fired like once off. Because I think I see a muzzle flash among all the sparks. But it's hard to tell because I think he's a silencer, so it's really hard to tell. I don't think it creates a big enough a muzzle flash or like a lighting thing to say if he fired or not. But he died in half a second. He died in half a second. Yeah, it's just that's a rough one. Like, as good as, let me be clear on this. I'm addressing this knowing the outcome of what was happening. In general, if I were going through this map and I was being impatient, I would have gone exactly through this door exactly the same way, probably. I do think I would have stuck to the sides. I think that'd be the only difference in terms of how I would have done it. But like, no, I would have pied. I would have pied here. If I was entering this room, I'm coming around this corner, I'm pieing to the right, I'm pieing to the left. I'm going to go up on this side here, and I'm going to see what's down there. I'm going to go here, make sure there's, you know, if I didn't see all the way over here, I'm going to pie again, check that side, pie back over. I'm going to see what's going on over here. My gun is going to be going in here, and I'm going to step out and do, what is it called? Like running the rabbit or whatever it's called. I'm not going to run, but I'm going to rabbit. I'm going to go around the corner. Or is it called button hooking? Is this button hook? Running the rabbit's like this, I think, right? Like a whoop. But this, I don't, is this count as a, whatever, I don't know. Technically, button hook. What is a button hook? I think you're running on the same side and you go around. I can never remember the terms. Anyway, this sucks, man. This sucks, man. I love this though. This is a good video. I love this video. Has everything. Has the comedy. Has the language I can't understand. Sounds like they're having a good time. Having a good time too. Yeah, I think it's just this one. If he was over here, you know, further back, doesn't need to position himself so far out in the lane of this fire as well, because you're kind of like obscuring any, because let's say there's a guy around this tight corner and it's just like he's firing and this guy moves back a little bit and he's getting shot. Go over, go do you know, one left, one right. This guy goes in here, this guy goes in here, he follows the wall. I think that may have helped the survivability, maybe. I don't know. Because he may have not pushed up as far, but he was pushing up far the whole time, didn't have an angle to shoot back, which really sucks. And they died so fast, it's so crazy. I'm just gonna watch this play out. This is a flash, the flash, this is the flash. That's happening, I'm immediately flashing. Oh, he doesn't know where it is. You are not gonna win this fight against the bot, you gotta get lucky if he's reloading. Come on, man. Did you get it? Is there's... Man, that is wild. I was like, they're doing so well. I'm like, they're taking their time. They're being super vigilant about everything they do. Like, the guy who died even was like wild. Like, I don't think you could do much more based on what I was seeing in the video. I'd have to look at it more again, but that's wild, man. This is one of those situations, as good as you are, you're gonna make something, you're gonna make some tactic that's not as good as the rest of them, or you're in a bad position in a bad room and you're like, you know, this is acceptable movement, but it just ends up, you just have so much disadvantage. You can't overcome the advantages even if you are performing really, really, really well, right? And that's kind of what the takeaway is here. You can be doing everything correctly. I mean, you can be super hyper nitpicky and then this situation might not have happened, or it may not have happened as bad, but it still could have happened even if you were properly going through here. Because if they don't see them going through that door, right, what can you do? You know what I mean? I was a little bit, I gotta go back further. But this is a super interesting scenario, and I actually really like this scenario. I could probably make a whole video about this, literally just the scenario. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make a whole video about this, recreate the geometry, door kickers or something. Because this is just so interesting. How would you go through here knowing that there's somebody around that corner? Like, is it the fault of him? I mean, I'm gonna ask everybody here. Is it the fault of this? Who's the most to blame? And what I mean by that is, who could have improved their gameplay? Who could have been better to the point at which it would have helped the team? How could they have moved through this space safer? Should they have thrown flashbangs? I don't know what their loadouts are. They seem to have a bunch of launchers, which is probably enough to clear this room. Now there's only like a lot less targets. Should they have gone through here with a launcher? Would they have survived? They both died in half a second. Would they even have a time to react to that? Did this guy go out? Like, so when he was here, and there, yeah, that happens so fast. When he was here, should he have been looking at this lane of fire, or should this guy have been looking at this lane of fire and he come up right beside him? Because Wyatt, like, he's further up, so that means he needs to exposing himself to more angles, right? Generally speaking. But in hindsight, we know that there's not any angle because there's a big block here to cover. So what do you guys think? So let me ask this question again because I didn't really ask it. Who's at fault the most? Is it him for stepping out and going too far out? Is it him for not? What would be his mistake? Speed up a little bit. Why is my spacebar never work? Okay, he goes in. I'll say this. Okay, is it his fault for not seeing him or not? So he sits there, parks, and he's not firing at anybody. Now he could have came around the corner and just fired 0.1 millisecond or whatever, and he didn't really have much of a choice. I'm not sure if he fired back. So like, is it this guy's fault for not seeing him? Potentially, we don't know because we don't know everything, right? That's the issue. Is it his for sitting here? Should he have stayed here? Should he have gone to a place of cover? Because he's not in a place for cover. He's sitting down. He's crouched. He won't be able to move and get out of here quickly. We know he has steel. The guy's essentially blocking the door to return to cover. Not that he would have any time to return cover anyway, because he's getting shot and killed so quickly. So who's really at fault here, right? I mean, there's 1,000 like variations you can think about. Like, you know, did this guy move incorrectly? Did he, you know, was he in a bad position? Should he have gone that direction? Should he have gone along the wall? Right. So just generally speaking, who do you think made the biggest mistake here? Was it him? Was it him? Did he go out too far? Was it him? He didn't see them, or did he go into a wrong direction? Or you think? How do you think this could have? What do you think they could have done reasonably? And what I mean by reasonably, be like, if they know someone's there, they don't know someone's there, so that's not reasonable. So they're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to throw a flashbang over there. That doesn't count. They don't know somebody's over there. Now, if you're using that logic all the way up until this point, and then they were like, hey guys, I think we should use flash launchers in here because there's like one suspect left, and we have a lot of resources to start using them, right? Because a lot of the time they're just shooting anyway. So let's use those resources because we have a lot of them. So it's like, okay, so is it his fault walking around the corner? Didn't see anybody, didn't react. Maybe is in a bad position. Maybe he should have taken a point of cover. Is it his fault for going too far out? Is it this guy for blocking the spot position or being in a bad position? Is he in a bad position? What do you guys think? Is he in a bad position or is he in a bad position? I guess that's my question is, who do you think is in the worst position? Who do you think should change their position or be in a better position? Who should have done something differently? Now, obviously, maybe all of these people could have done something differently, right? But it's hard to tell or know what the outcome would be, but we can kind of like speculate, right? So like this guy is in a dangerous location. This guy's in a dangerous location. He's generally speaking in the safest location. He can kind of see his lanes of fire. He's being covered by his buddies. He's in the safest spot, right? He's recording, so, and he is the commander, so of course he's gonna be in the safest spot. This makes logical sense. Yeah, I'm super curious. Tell me what you guys think about this. I'm actually super curious to see what you guys think. This is super interesting to me. I love this scenario because they died so fast. That was insanely fast. And here, 100%. Once those two are dead, though, you're getting shot at. I know he's trying to, like, you know, do a little back and forth to avoid that shot. So they runs out of ammo. Flash, if you have it, immediately. I would have done that insanely fast. Be like, okay, both my guys dead. Oh, I'm hiding behind the cover. I know he's there. I'm going to throw a flash. But he does take him out, though. So. Let me see if that was... I don't think that was Chaos. Oh, it was Chaos. That was the last guy. Well, shit. It's always the last one, eh? You know what they call it, ready or not? It's because there's always the last one. Playing hide and seek with you and they get you. Anyway, that was a real pleasure to watch and review. That's why I love seeing squads of teams figure out these things, seeing their tactics, seeing how they move, seeing what their routes are, seeing where they pull back. As for like, I usually try to say like a lesson now for a lot of these review me videos. I don't know. Pick your lesson. Watch this video and admire a lot of the movement and the decision making. Think about a lot of this decision making. Tell me if you see any mistakes that I might have missed or overlooked or something. Because sometimes I can miss some stuff, right? So tell me what you guys think about the positioning. Tell me what you guys think this team did well or wrong. You think that first death was justification? Let me actually see how this guy died. Because he died fast. I don't know if he had... Okay, this guy dies super quick. And he dies a little bit off camera. I just see him fall. He dies like right about here. Just do frame by frame. Oh, this guy has ceramic on, I think. This is more like dusty. Man, that sucks, man. I don't know. They're like, okay, what? These guys are in the corners. They're not really covering too much, but they're covering the main door. Like, if anybody were to enter, this man is stepping out into a lane of fire into a big room. He could have been peeking because this man like stepped out and kind of like held his position. He kind of like he did a little shuffle over. He died very quickly. I don't know about that. I'd have to see more stuff. I'd have to see more information about that. Like how long he was, where he was shooting, where the angle was. Like he can get out there again. Let me see here. He's trying to pie as wide as possible because they're gonna see you as soon as you like. Yeah. So like, he's probably out too far. I think that was probably it. He could have been back further. I think he was back pretty far though. But yeah, peeking this corner. Yeah, I don't know. That's sometimes you just get boned, you know? Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like there's nothing insanely bad about that except that he's peeking into a really scary lane of fire through multiple doorways. So he probably overexposed himself to the lanes of fire, and that's what got him. I don't know. There was nothing like catastrophic in terms of like what he was doing, right? He just overexposed himself. He was probably just in a bad position or something, or I don't know. I have no idea. I'd have to be like watching through his perspective to see what he was doing or something, or if he was aiming at the target or something, or if it came out of like where did it come from or whatever, right? So that's really hard to say, but yeah. Tell me what you guys think about this scenario. I'm going to end the video pretty soon here. Tell me what you guys think about this scenario. Is this guy's fault? This guy's fault? This guy's fault? You think like what could have each person done differently? That's probably the best thing I'll ask. What is something that each person here could have done differently to have increased their survivability of entering this room reasonably without specifically knowing that there was an enemy in here? Even though technically speaking, most of the time you are always assuming there's someone in here, but you don't know. So you have to take that into consideration when you're writing your answers. I'm not going to accept like, throw 2 flashbangs over here into this direction. That's not reasonable. Generally speaking, that's not reasonable because you'd have to take that logic throughout the whole map. Now, maybe if you're like, oh, hey, this is a location where it's difficult to pie or whatever get into because of angles and such. And you're like, oh, well, I'm going to throw a stinger, right? Because I know it's a big room, or like, you know, American, they all have flash launchers, but maybe, you know, because they had a lot of resources here. So I don't like seeing people die because I mean, it happens, right? But dying with resources always sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I didn't throw enough grenades or something or whatever. But anyway, this was a super pleasure to watch. It's sad that it took me this long to watch this, is because I was like, this is going to be an hour video. And, you know, but I enjoyed this a lot. I really, really enjoyed this. It did say with an AI mod, so I don't know how it was different in terms of their behaviors, but definitely got messed up at this doorway though. But anyway, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for submitting. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And that is it for the video. Thanks for watching and have a good day.